What's going on, guys? How are we? Welcome to the Johnny and KP show. Johnny is back today. We got who we got? We got a few heads in the chat. We got Rob in the chat, Big Man, Chris in the chat, Dobster in the chat. Uh, how are you all? Johnny, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm very tired, but I've managed to drag myself to the computer and have a chat about
This
my
is
good old
true. This
club,
is
United.
true. So just bear with us, guys. If there's any like little delays because of the internet and that, John is running off his phone internet because he's having a few little troubles there,
Yeah,
but it's okay. That's
thumbs up
it.
to Optus.
Christopoulos says, "Hey, Dobster," and he says, "Oh my God, John is finally back." He's having a shot at you, man.
But it's been
About a
a
month.
month at least.
It's all right. What can you do?
Mm. Well, I had a child. I had a baby, man. I'm sorry, guys, and I get no sleep
We
anymore.
congratulated you, man. What are you talking about? We on here.
Did you?
We got the whole chat was congratulating you live. You were in the chat, I think. I think you were there.
Really? I've had a few jobs in my time, man. I reckon fatherhood's probably the hardest.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. So you've heard it from John here first. Before we
Mm.
get into the serious side of things, you can see that we're delaying. We don't actually want to talk about United. That's how bad they are at the moment. But no better time than now to get into it. So where do
Where
we
do we
start? First
start?
things first. We start. We get kicked out of the FA Cup. We get kicked out of the FA Cup by Middlesbrough on penalties after we have 30 shots on target. They have one shot or something. I mean, and I think I said this to you, and I don't know, Rob, anyone who's in the chat, soccer people, football people can comment on this. That goal should not have stood. I don't I don't care what anyone says. That goal should not have stood because it hit his hand and helped him score. But then on the other side of things, we were a disgrace because we didn't finish the game off. You know what I mean? When you had 30 shots, Ronaldo missing sitters, Bruno missing sitters, Sancho I think missed a sitter as well. Like, we should have won that game. I don't know what are your thoughts on that, but that goal definitely shouldn't have stood.
Yeah, you summed it up. When you don't take your chances and you leave a team in, always, 1-0 up, the other team's always got a chance to come back in the game, you know what I mean? And Middlesbrough, they fought hard and they kept hanging in there, and you keep a team hanging in there, they get that goal, and then you take it to penalties. And yeah, it can go either way. But yeah, definitely their goal should not have stand. I don't know. I think there might have been a rule change when it comes to that sort of thing, when it comes to VAR. So I'm not sure if the referee is supposed to pick it up and make the decision there and there, but I don't think he saw it properly, or he decided deemed not to be. I'm not sure, but yeah, he let it stand, and we should have gone up 1-0, but we should have scored 3 or 4. So um, we we let that one slip, and it was a big loss because I feel like that's the only trophy or silverware we could have won this season. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I agree. I mean, I know there has been a rule change and they're talking about deliberate and not deliberate, but I think the rule states that if it gave you an advantage to score, it should be disallowed. And
he
I mean,
controlled
he
it.
controlled it into his path. Yeah. So Rob says agree. Goal should not have stood. Same with Australia versus Oman. Australia were bad but didn't get an obvious penalty, and Oman given one. So there you go. So Asian officials resent Australia being in Asia Confederation. I think every official resents United. And then Rob says, way to alienate John. Your partner had the baby. You were just there. He reckons.
Yeah, I got to deal with all the backlash and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's it. Well, and then Rob says VAR is about clear and obvious errors. AFCON referees bravely reviewed VAR and said no, my decision. See, I want the Premier League refs to do that. If you go look at the screen, it's like you know what the decision's going to be. Like they don't ever overrule their own decisions in the Premier League or FA Cup as
Mm,
well. Like, I mean, it hit his
mm.
hand. Like,
Yeah. But besides that decision, we punished ourselves by not,
Oh, definitely,
finishing off the game.
definitely.
So, um, yeah, so we only have ourselves to blame. We shouldn't blame the ref. It's just ourselves, really.
Nah, no way. Well, you know what cracks me up as well? There's all these people hating on our goalkeeper saying, oh, we've got to bring Henderson in. He's better at penalties. He was terrible. Like, so I'm not blaming him,
Yeah,
not blaming him for the game, but there was one he definitely should have saved that it just went right through him.
yeah. I mean, it's,
It's not
as a
his fault. It's
keeper,
not
it's
his
not
fault.
easy to
Yeah,
save.
it's not his
Yeah,
fault, but
it's not easy. Definitely not easy to save any sort of penalty, but yeah, you can't blame the keepers
no
in
way,
penalties, I
no,
guess,
no
unless
way.
they do something really drastic.
No, no,
But
no, no.
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get
And
what you're saying.
and Rob says compare United's 11 to Borough's 11, just not good enough. And I think we all know that. Like, I mean, Ronaldo's worth more than their club. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Two times
yeah,
over.
like how many? What else can we say? Like, to lose to them at home after absolutely dominating them was just a disgrace, really. Like, it's like the players, like you expect a lift for a manager, and it's like they know he's not getting the job, so they're not giving him anything.
Well, that's why I don't think he really got backed in January, because they're probably thinking, well, hang on a minute, you're not going to be here in a few months. We're going to, pour the money into the next manager, which I
Yeah,
understand
I get it.
in a way. Yes, but there was a few signings there that we let go. Obviously the Martial one, they didn't know Greenwood would get himself into a mess like this. So I think if he would have got arrested and charged before
Oh,
Martial's
definitely,
release, I don't think they would have let him go.
definitely.
But it's just there's so much wrong with United. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted Donny to go because we all felt sorry for
Yeah, I
Donny.
know,
You know what
I
I mean?
know.
So um, yeah, but Renwick's just got to take us, hopefully get us top four, and then it's a restart again. And honestly, it's another rebuild, because of the amount of players that are going to leave this club. We're going to have to rebuild again.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like, Dobster says, I think he's having a shot. He's having a go at us. He says, in regards to what we said about the goalkeeper, he says, nah, it's directly his fault. He's having a shot at Hendo there. Rob says, I had the same opinion of City versus Southampton. 80% possession, 20 shots on goal, yet 1-1. Not good enough. And I agree. Like, if you're dominating a team like we did, and you got players like Ronaldo's meant to be one of the best goal scorers in the world, isn't he? And missing absolute sitters that, it was. I actually thought it was his worst game for us since he's been back, because it wasn't like he didn't, sometimes he's had games where they blame him, but he doesn't touch the ball. He actually had
Mm.
chances this game, but everyone plays bad. Like, you can't play good every,
But that's a
and
different. That's to refer back to Rob's comment. Like, yeah, Man City with the 1-1, but every team deserves a bad day, and that's sort of the Man City. You know what I mean? They're good every other time except the odd
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah,
With United, it's every other day. You know what I mean?
yeah, of
It's more
course.
than the odd day, and it's not good enough, because we've spent just as much as money as Man City. I know over the 10 years, I think they're marginally a little bit more, but to be honest, we've spent
Oh,
just as much
of
money,
course,
and we've got half the team
of
they have. You
course,
know what I mean? So we've spent very poorly.
of course. Dobster says,
Mm.
"Listen, I'm just kidding. I have no idea about any of this, but that's why we love you, Dobster, because you don't, not even a football fan, and you're here with us, so we like that." Rob says, "Lots of players happy to take the field to forget what is happening off the field, e.g., Italy 1982 World Cup." Enough said. There you go. Christopoulos says John's head is a plant. Yeah, well, John's internet is not having the best of time, so he's reshaping, and that's just we did say that at the start. Bear with us. John's having some internet troubles, so I'll try and move him over a bit. Look, it's just, but then once I move him, he resizes. If I get him in here, it's just I've got him here now, but he's gonna resize. That's the problem. So, but yeah, so
So we're just
uh,
gonna we're gonna we're gonna move forward, man, from now and just concentrate on. Look, we got Champions League, and you know, knockout games. Anything could happen. But I'm not counting. You know, I'm not. I don't have much hope on it, but
No
you know, anything
way.
could happen. But top four at best now. That's it.
That's so. Now the next thing we get into is what you sort of touched on it a little bit about the board and that with the transfer window. What did you think of the transfer window? No incomings. We had outgoings. Obviously, like you said, Mason has got himself into a right old mess. VanDerBeek's gone. Martial's gone, all on loan, mind you. Lingard was not allowed to go, whereas if it was up to me, I would have kept Martial over Lingard. That's me personally, but you know,
Well, it's a shambles if you look at it properly because I think a few days to go before the end of the transfer window, our manager comes out and says Lingard can go, and then all of a sudden the board blocked that,
yeah,
and so it just goes to show you that the manager of United, whoever it may be, has got a tough task to try and get who they want in and out of the club. So the days of Sir Alex Ferguson picking, you know, who he wants there and who he doesn't want there is long gone. And United just like to buy the next shiny thing. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
They're not using their scouting. They're not. They're like, okay, let's go buy Harry Kane because for 120 million because it'll, you know, destroy the internet. You'll get all the views in. You know,
yeah,
get all the you get all the money in. Who cares what it does to the team as long as we get, you know, our popularity right up there and we sell the shirts. That's all it is at United. It's a commercial business, and it's sad to see that we are going away from the football side and more of just buy the shiny toy and sell it in the window.
yeah. Well, Rob touched on this in the chat earlier, and that's what exactly what you said is going to take me onto it. It's like they turn around now and say, "Oh, let's get Declan Rice for 100 million," which to me is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And they're giving an example, whereas they could go get Neves and Tielemans probably for 80 million,
Hmm.
and they're probably both as good as him anyway. You know what I mean? Like, but nah, we want to go get Rice because it's the big thing. It's like United always, instead of fixing the problem, they're like, let's get an 80 million Maguire and that'll be it. It's done, but not worry about anything else. It's like they got no, it's they got no long-term vision. Let's say. Rob says silver lining, focus on UCL and EPL, and I get that, but all we're focusing on is fourth place because we're not going to win the Champions League. Like it's, you
I don't
know,
think we'll get past Atletico.
nah, I don't think we will either. And then Dobster says new United manager question mark. And I mean, for me, I think it's Pochettino or Ten Hag. I don't know about you.
I think it might be Poch because you know it's that will sell papers as well,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man. It's sad to see how the club is run, and if it has to. You know, I thought this new CEO would be different, but apparently he's like
Nah, he's
bum
not.
buddies
He's like
with
his right hand man. Like,
yeah, they're like best mates, and he's just
yes,
gonna run this club the same way. So
exactly. Rob
um,
Rob says he agrees with JG. Manager not supported by the board. I'm sure previous coaches were equally frustrated. And I always bring it back to Jose. Love him or hate him, Jose wanted to get rid of Anthony Martial. What was it, 4 years ago?
hmm.
And then what's happened since then? Martial probably hasn't played well.
I think it's ever since Ferguson, it's sort of panned out a little bit. I think Moyes got to pick a couple players, like you know,
Yeah,
he got his Fellaini and whatnot. I
yeah.
think he wanted Thiago back
I
then.
think he wanted Fabregas as well. I think to my memory.
Yeah, I think it was Fabregas. But Van Gaal got a couple players, I think, that
Got
he wanted, but I
Di
don't think he wanted
Maria,
Di Maria.
Depay. Didn't want Di Maria. I think we got Depay, which
Nah, he
didn't
got
work.
Blind. I think he wanted Blind, and he got Blind and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
But I think in the middle of Van Gaal's tenure, they started to say, "Hang on, we're going to take transfers more in
yeah,
our hands."
yeah. Of
And
course.
Mourinho probably got the raw end of the
Well,
stick, and so
yeah.
did Ollie.
Well, like I say, I always bring it back to Jose. The first window they sort of backed him, and the story is that they bought Pogba without even consulting him. They said, "Here, we're buying Pogba. We don't care if you want him or not." He's come out and said that. So he didn't want Pogba, but he got him. He got Mkhitaryan, I think. Who else did he get? I don't even know who else he got, to be honest. I'm not.
He got
Darmian, yeah,
Darmian.
mate. No, that was
Uh,
Van Gaal. I think that was Van Gaal.
was it?
Yeah, I reckon. I reckon.
Delay. He got
He
Delay.
got Delo, so he didn't really get much, and then he finished second. He won
Mm.
a UEFA Cup, regardless whether you
You get
like.
Lukaku. Lukaku.
Yeah, Lukaku. That's right. He got Lukaku. So regardless of, like I said, we liked his football or not, he won a trophy, got us second. Then he didn't get backed at all the next window. He's sacked by
Mm.
Christmas. You know what I mean? Like it's just it all points to these. Like I always say, all points to these parasites that are running our club. Like they're a joke. They're a joke.
I
Like
mean, is there a manager out there, you're going to say to the board, look, I'll only sign with you guys if I can bring in who I want.
well, I think
And would
that
they, would the
man was
board?
there, John. Sorry to cut you off. I think that man was there, and now he's at Tottenham. I think that's why they didn't give him the job because Conte would have said, "Well, you're giving me this, or mind the language, I'm fucking walking." That's that's why I don't think they hired him.
Yeah, and that's why certain managers like would probably agree to be, Man United manager without, getting the players who they want in because it's the
Yeah,
status,
of
you know what I mean,
course.
of managed Man United. So, we're a historic club, one of the biggest in the world. I won't say we're the biggest, but we are definitely one of the biggest.
Most
And
definitely top three, four club biggest size of club in the world.
yeah,
That's a
so
fact.
there's not many people will turn down the United squad, even though
No,
they have restrictions. You know what I mean? So it's to get that mix of a man in there, to say, hang on a minute, I want to bring these such players in, this staff in, get rid of this. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if that's possible or
Well,
not.
Dobbs says, "What's the inside goss on who the next manager is?" And from what we know, everyone's
We're
saying,
hearing two
yeah,
names a lot.
Pochettino and Ten Hag. That's all we really know. Me personally, I've said it to John, I think yesterday. I would like them to go for Enrique, but he's never going to get the job because the World Cup's in December this year. How's he going to take the job in
Mm,
June when he's got a World Cup 6 months later? It's just so that it sort of cuts a few people out that you would think maybe going for the job, and then, but I don't know. Zakal says, "Hi, KP and Johnny. How are you guys? I'm good, man." Johnny's good. He's just a bit upset. We're a bit upset about Man United, but we're all right. And Rob says, "I still rate Martial and Lingard." And I do too. I just think Lingard's time at the club is actually up. I think when he went to West Ham last year, he proved that he's a good player, and when Martial's back, he proves he's a good player too. That's just, I don't.
He's one of those players that is a mixture of a winger and attacking midfielder, and you got Bruno, you
Yeah,
got Sancho, you got
yeah.
Rashford, you got all these other players. It's like we're stacked up at the top and we're thin in the middle. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
definitely.
So
Like, it's just, listen, it's no secret that we need a midfielder, but what cracks me up is, like, listen, Radnick came in, he sanctioned Donny to leave, and that's a midfielder. It's just, and he's still playing McTominay and Fred, and we're wondering why we don't have any creativity coming out the midfield when I'm watching them. And I don't like to disrespect any player, man, but sometimes I think they can't even kick the ball. Like you see, some of their touches
it's
are,
such
atrocious, and then they go to kiss. So what are you doing? Like you're playing for Man
yeah
United, John. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they're playing for
yeah
Man United and they can't control the ball. It's unheard of. It's
yeah.
unheard of.
That's why look, I hate to say it. Look, I love Ronaldo obviously, and I always like seeing a big signing. Who doesn't like seeing a big
Of
signing? But I
course.
think we gotta move away from these shiny toys. You know what I mean? We need to get back down the roots and like get hungry players in there who are gonna take that next
Oh,
step.
definitely.
You know what I mean? So I was really happy with the Varane signing
Oh,
this
me
year.
too.
Obviously,
Me too.
I was happy. I was pretty much happy with all our signings because look, Sancho is a young
Yeah.
talent. Varane's a gun, and obviously Ronaldo. But yeah, we obviously needed that centre mid because look, McTominay and Fred, look, they play okay, but they're not a Champions League
No, no
midfielder
way.
group. They're not a Premier League title midfield duo. So you got to look at that and say, hang, look, we can't keep going on with McTominay and Fred.
Yeah,
because it's not going to win us a title. It's not going to win us like anything. So,
yeah,
um, and I don't know who signed Donny. Donny right now is the most weirdest signing I've seen because obviously it wasn't Ollie's signing, and I don't know why the club would go and buy Donny because he wasn't really the next shiny thing. He was sort of that.
yeah.
I felt like he was one of those players that was ready to take the next step, like I keep talking about. But um, yeah, I don't know who sanctioned that
Uh,
signing
it's,
if no one really wants him.
it's like I don't know what the word is for it. It's fucking peculiar. It's like so weird. It's so weird. But like you touched on it about the midfield, they're not a championship winning midfield. If this is just off the top of my head, some championship winning midfields, you go. Firstly, we start with our teammate Scholes, Keane, Scholes, Carrick, Vieira, Edu, Lampard, Essien. Like that's you. Those names. Listen to it. Like it's
Yeah, your De Bruyne's,
yeah,
Yaya
yeah,
Touré's,
exactly.
your
Like
Patrick Vieira's, your you know what I mean,
Fernandinho,
your
De Bruyne. Like look at these names we're putting, and then we're like
yeah,
McTominay and Fred. And so, well, no wonder why we're not
yeah.
winning. Like, you know,
I mean, look, Leicester won it with Drinkwater, Kante, and
yeah,
even
that's
that
better than
with
It was better than
Drinkwater,
ours.
time and Kante is better than our
I'll
midfield.
take Kante over both of our midfielders. Like,
Yeah.
they're both terrible. It's just,
So,
listen, when you're watching, it's hard to say. Like, we're all fans, but and you're like, listen, I don't. A lot of the time, you're like, I don't get the hype about this player, but this has gone on for 2 years now, where of not getting hype. So that just means obviously they're not good enough. Like with McTominay, I was like, okay, maybe he's young, he's going to come of age, whatever, but his game has not developed at all. And that's me, that's my opinion. Fred is still the same player as when he came to us. And there's a comment that you always say that I'll touch on, and I think it's a fact at the moment. We are a career ruiner. Man
yeah.
United's a career ruiner, aren't we? That's just,
Well, look at Ronaldo now. He's come back to United, and people calling him shit.
well, that's what I said. Remember, I said it for a joke one day on here. I said to you, like, Ole deserves a statue because he's the only bloke that could make Ronaldo crap. But now Ranić's making him crap. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's
If
just
he
our
ended up,
club.
at, if he ended up at Man City, he probably would have scored more goals and
Oh,
on the edge of winning a title and in the Champions League and
well, I'll put
whatnot.
that over to Rob. Rob's a Man City fan, and Rob isn't the biggest fan of Ronaldo. I know that for a fact, but he knows he's a good player. But if Ronaldo
Mm.
went to Man City, Rob, how many goals do you think he'd have? But I think he'd be over 20 goals already. He's got 14 at United, and
He would because it's hard to bench the player. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So Pep would have had to play him.
and
So
Pep was
he would have
he was
scored.
going for him. Pep wanted him. It was a fact. He wanted him. So, like I said, he's got 14 goals at United, which I mean, like people are drilling him. It's actually a very good return, But at City, he'd
At
have
30,
25 goals, I
he's
reckon.
my
He'd have 25 goals.
he's our age. I think he's
Yeah, today,
37. So
today, I think
yeah.
today. So,
Mm.
like, it's just it bemuses me. Like everything, like it's just I watch our fullbacks. Like we pay 50 million for Wan-Bissaka. He can't even get in the team. We paid 80 million,
Yeah.
80 million for Maguire. I don't think he'd make my team. The guy's shocking. And he's captain of our club. That's what's even worse. Tellers and Shaw, I mean, they're okay, but they're not pulling up trees. Then, like we said, the midfield is terrible. It's just, I don't, it's just, it's so, I just don't know
Yeah.
where we go. Like, it's a huge job. I don't know. Do you think Poch, Ten Hag, Enrique, is anyone actually up to this job?
Yeah, I don't know because look, United have gone for spells in the history,
Of
of
course.
bad runs. You know what I mean? Bad teams. And look, under Ferguson, Fergie was creating world class players. You know what I mean? And we haven't really created any world class players. The best we've created, is probably Rashford's and couple there. But we've bought world class players and made them
Worse.
good
Yeah.
players. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not world class anymore, good players. When we bought Pogba, he was arguably world class. Come to us.
Sanchez was the best
It's
player
hard.
in the league.
Yeah. Sanchez, you know what I mean? Even Di
Yeah,
Maria was,
yeah.
we even bring Schweinsteiger, and he was just,
Terrible,
oh my
terrible.
God, terrible. And so there's something wrong with the water of Man United where we just, yeah, I don't know what it is. We just make players
It,
shit, and
it's like
yeah, I
it's
don't know
like we've
what
become a retirement home.
we have. Like I was reading Twitter before, and they were saying, "Oh, United, we'll get Haaland. We'll
Oh,
get,
get lost.
they're talking about
Yeah,
Haaland."
Haaland and
And I read this comments goes, "Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely get Haaland, man, when he's
yeah,
37."
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like I saw. That's the one I saw. It cracked me up. It was like, yeah, we got Cavani, but like 7 years too late.
Yeah, same with
Yeah, like
Ibra.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just like even Schweinsteiger. Yeah, we got Schweinsteiger when he was just like ready to just
Just
like
couldn't walk.
you know
Yeah, yeah,
go to Florida or
yeah,
something. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So like, come on, man. Like, we seriously turn into that like American club. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
and talking about American clubs now, what's actually got me worried is that Tom Brady is retired. So
mm.
are these knob owners we've got just going to go spend all their money on the Buccaneers now? And
Well, I think that freed up nearly 80 or 90 million in wages or something like that.
ridiculous, ridiculous.
Mm.
But they'll put none of their money into United. It'll all go to the Buccaneers. That's what will happen. So
Nah, it's a business for them. They don't. All they care about is the money keeps rolling in for the shareholders, the dividends getting paid
of
out. That's
course,
all that
of
matters.
course.
Yeah, and they've valued United so high, and there's not many people out there that can buy
Yeah,
them.
of course. That's right. Like it's
Mm.
when you're like, what is it? They're saying $5 billion to buy the club. Like, what do you expect? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah, it's
ridiculous, man.
stupid.
Mm.
So, I mean, well, we're on transfers. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like you said, you touched on Haaland because they're talking about him, Haaland and Rice. Rice 100 million, and they're saying Haaland. I mean, he's got a release clause, doesn't he? But why would he come to United?
Yeah, I don't know why we're coming back. Even though I like Haaland as a player, and he looks at that type of hunger in him, you know what I mean? But I feel like if he comes to us, he's just gonna regret it.
Yeah, I mean, Rayola's his
Um,
manager.
yeah, I think like these big name signings, it's just so much
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah, of course.
It's just different. It's different if Man City sign these types of players and we sign these type of players. You know what I mean? The pressure's not as big at Man City. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And they can play more freely, more themselves, and therefore get better results. So I wrote in a comment to you I wanted that Isaac player, and then I realised that we've just been linked to him as
yeah. That
well.
we were
So
when after you wrote that comment that night, we were like, because it was transfer, we were linked to him, and I was laughing.
yeah, so I've been watching him.
He's a good
He's the
player.
type of player I think would do well. Yeah, well, and he's that type of unknown. You know what I mean? That could come in and sort of play with a bit of freedom.
Yeah,
Um, so, but I'm only a guy in Australia that's just a fan who's talk
yeah, I
shit.
know. But the thing
And
is, when you look back on our history, like look at it, Johnny. Look back to even when we were young. So you look at it like um, Eric Cantona was written off by everyone, right? And we
mm,
signed him, and it was one of the best signings in our history. And then you go a few years after that, Dwight York. Like Dwight York. Okay, he was a very good player, but he wasn't this Ronaldo or Messi of the world, was he? And look what he did. He was amazing. You know what I mean? Like Teddy Sheringham, again, an experienced campaigner that he came in with a job to do and did it. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, it wasn't these huge break the bank Galactico signings. It was yeah, good players, but let's make them better. Let's make them world class. Hey, let's get Dwight York from
mm,
Villa and make him world class. Not, like it's just but we're not like that anymore. You're spot on. Since we've been doing it with Di Maria and that, Sanchez, Falcao. I mean the list goes on. I can't even think of them all at the moment. It's ridiculous. Like,
it's like we don't have a scouting team
nah.
anymore. It's just that it's just a bunch of people playing FIFA or something, or just watching YouTubers talk about
Yeah,
superstars, or yeah, I don't
uh,
know. It's just
I know it's.
the next manager's has got a big job to do, and I don't know if it's too big for any
But
person. You know what I
the
mean?
thing
So
is, I feel for whoever it is. Listen, and the problem is, like, you got stories already. They're talking about Pochettino, and half our fan base is against him already. So imagine he gets the job. Like, he's a dead man walking. Like, they reckon
mm,
70% of the people are against him, whereas a couple years ago they were all creaming for him. And now it's like,
yeah,
so it's like let the guy, give him a chance, whoever it is, whoever that may be. I don't care, mate. Even if it's David Moyes again, hypothetically speaking, you got to give the guy a chance because we need someone to rebuild us. And the thing is, the board, if the board don't back him, he's a dead man walking from day one, from day dot, because it, it's not a
yeah.
1 year job. It's not a one transfer window job. Look at Klopp. Klopp come in. It was 3, 4 transfer windows before you took him seriously. And I fear right now, man, it pains me saying it, and it will pain you hearing it, but we're becoming Liverpool of the 90s.
Oh, definitely. I've been thinking about that for a while. Like, I think Liverpool went on that. Yeah, well, 20
30 years
years,
without
pretty
without the
mediocre.
without a league title.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And we're 10 years
Yeah.
now, and it could easily get another 10
And
years.
before,
Easily. Look, if
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sorry.
you know what I mean. Like, I feel like we have to wait for a bit of Pep to leave Man City, and they have start getting a bit of issues and start dropping off a little bit before they find their new groove again. And same with Liverpool. We need that sort of shit to happen for us to sort of bridge the gap on
Yeah.
those two, definitely. And Chelsea, you know what I mean? They always spend big, and they buy decent players. You know what I mean? Like, you talk with the Werners and the Havertz. You sort of see where they're going on their signings. Werner and Havertz weren't the biggest shiny things. They were up there.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
definitely.
coming up
Yeah.
prospects, but they weren't like, you know what I mean? Your stupid signings that you're going to spend 100 million on. And you go back to that Declan Rice thing. I mean, 100 million for
I
Declan
mean,
Rice.
please, please.
I mean, you could, you could, so you got Zakari that's on a free
I know.
transfer,
I
Kamara that's
know.
on a
I
free
know.
transfer, that are both centre defensive midfielders. Um, you just do your job, scouts, and listen to them and listen to the manager. Like, I get Rice is a good player, but you know, you want to rebuild a club. What you spend that 100 million and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
mean, the thing is, though, John, 100 million for a defensive midfielder. I mean, I'm not having a shot at the position because it's the engine room of your team. I mean, but like, geez, man, 100 million. Like, I watched this thing with Ryan Giggs once, and they said to him, so if these midfielders going for 100 million now, they're like, what would Roy Keane go for in today's market? And he goes, man, he'd be worth 300 million. He goes, because no
well,
player
there's not
could
many.
do that job.
Same with
Yeah,
Patrick
exactly.
Vieira and
I'm
stuff
just
like
giving an
that. That'd be
example.
just
They'd be
ridiculous.
worth ridiculous amounts. And like I said, you thinking of these prices for Messi's and Mbappe's, like the guys that are putting the ball in the net. Not, but we've come to that point. We're paying 100 million for a defensive midfielder. That, come on, he's only worth 100 million because he's English. Like, it's an English
Mm,
bias, and
mm,
we know that.
yeah. Well,
Zakal says, "Can you wait until March 7th?" I don't know what that's in regards to, Zakal, but I can at this moment until you tell me what it's about. And then Trishima says Manchester United require a rebuild from top down, not just the team, but the club in general. And we totally agree with that, Trishima.
spot
That's what
on.
we're saying.
Spot
That,
on.
yeah, spot on. The board is a bunch of parasites.
Mm. And they've just changed one CEO
Yeah,
to another
to his best
CEO
mate.
who's just to his best mate. It's just a bunch of lads running one of the biggest clubs in the world the way
It's
they
a
want it.
boys' club. Like we say that, don't we? We've said that about our football team here, haven't we? The Crows became a
Mm,
boys' club, and look at them. They're one of the worst teams in the comp. And United have been a boys' club
mm,
now for 10 years, and they're all that's keeping them up is the fact that they can have these good players. Nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So look, we just got to get the top four again, and I know that's just
We're Arsenal. We're
sad to
Arsenal now.
say
We're
because
Arsenal.
yeah. I know we used to pay Arsenal out. Top four is a trophy, and top four is a trophy to us now. You know what I mean? That's how pathetic and sad we've become. So look, I get it that no club can be the best forever. I get it, but it's been 10 years now, and with the amount of money that we've spent. I get it that Liverpool were the way they were for that long, but they never spent over a
No,
billion.
they
You know
didn't
what I
have.
mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So, look, yeah, it is what it is. We'll be United fans till we die, obviously, and we just got to ride this wave until a
You
miracle
know, the
happens.
example I'll give, like you're saying, listen, I understand no team can be the best forever, but look at Barcelona right now. Barcelona are bankrupt. They're still
Mm,
fourth. They're still going to probably make the
mm,
Champions League, and they just lost arguably the greatest player of all time. That's a boyhood, you know, graduate of their club, and like they're still probably going to make fourth. So, you know,
they've probably they're one of the best. They had one of the best teams I've seen in my
oh,
lifetime.
definitely, definitely.
Um, I think was
When they
it.
beat us, the '08, that '08 team, like I watch a thing with, so 2010, 12, I think we won '08. I think they beat us 9 and 11 or something. And I'll watch a thing with
Mm,
Rooney talking about, and Wayne Rooney said, he goes, listen, he goes, if that Barcelona team didn't exist, he goes, we would probably have 4 Champions League medals each. He goes, and that's
mm.
just a fact. He goes, because we were, he goes, we were one of the best teams anyone has seen. He goes, they were just that little bit better than us.
Yeah, I think they're better than our treble team as well at the time. I think that team, it was
No
one of the best
one's
teams
no
I've
one's
seen.
better than our treble team, man. What are you talking about? Until they do it, they're not better than us. Uh,
I love our treble team, you know what I mean? But yeah, that
different.
was
The thing is, it's very
that
different.
was
Very different eras. As they were playing 4-3-3, our treble team was a 4-4-2 team.
mm,
But it's it's interesting. I tell you what, because I tell you, I think Keane and Scholes will give Javi and that a different run than our blokes did. Like the later we had Giggs playing in there, Carrick who were very slow, whereas Keane will never get dominated like that. I don't think personally, but you know.
yeah,
Oh, Zakal says
yeah.
March 7th is the Manchester Derby, 3:30 a.m. All right, I can wait for that. I don't want to see that. Now that you've clarified that, I can wait till March 7th. And Trishima says,
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
Trishima says, I think I heard they have the same debt since the current owners bought the club out. Says, oh, they do, Trishima. That's a fact. The debt, I think, has grown, which when I look at it,
They just pay
yeah, I'm not a
interest.
financial person by any means, but like, how did they allow these guys to buy the club on debt like that? It just, you can't go and buy a house like that, can you? Like,
No,
why are they allowed to buy a soccer club like that? I don't get it. Like, I can't just go buy a house on debt and say, oh, give me the house for $1 million and I'm not going to pay anything. Like, it's going to still owe $1 million in 20 years. Like, it's just, I just don't get it. Like I said, I'm not a financial person, but it just makes no sense to me.
yeah.
Like, it's just so stupid. Like, yeah, the way that this great club has been treated by these owners is just a joke. Like, it sickens me really, but you know.
I'm stuck with them now, so there's no way out of it.
Oh, well, there's no way unless someone like the who bought Newcastle, unless a Saudi comes like that or something that goes, yeah, here's some pocket change. I don't care about $5 billion. It's not getting sold, and that's just a
Mm,
fact. So, which is a shame. But
yeah.
all right, well, on that let's touch on a few other things. So we got Burnley coming up. I think it could be tomorrow morning or the day after. I'm not sure actually, but we've got Burnley coming up at Turf Moor. I'm pretty sure. What are you thinking for that? Burnley, and then I think we got Southampton on Saturday, which we may do a watch along for at this stage. We're not 100% sure yet, but Burnley, then the Saints.
Well, look, on paper, obviously United should be winning both of those games. We're going to Turf Moor. It's not easy, but
But I actually think they were
Burnley are
saying
in that.
I think we've actually got an excellent record there. They were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley will be very desperate to get points for,
Yeah,
try to avoiding the drop. But look, all excuses aside, United should be getting 3 points
mate,
there
definitely.
and 3 points against Southampton.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but do we get the 3 points on each of those games? Look, it's just another matter, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um, it's going to be interesting to see the front three for me. So I know Ronaldo will be there, but I think Rashford is just bang
he's
out of
just
form.
I don't know what's wrong with the poor guy.
I think Sancho will start, and I think Alanga
But
maybe.
do you
So
see? I was thinking that, but then I thought, is Ranić gonna try to take him out of the spotlight a bit because of all this? Listen, I'll touch on that a little bit now. I know we don't have a big platform, whatever, but any fan that is racially abusing Elanga for missing a penalty, you're a parasite as well, mate. You know what I mean? The fact
mm,
that he got abused after missing a penalty, a 19-year-old kid, is an absolute disgrace. But onto the
mm.
football side of things, do you think Ranić is going to try to just take him out of the limelight, or do you think you just
Yeah, maybe.
put him in?
I sort of forgot about the racial abuse he's been getting. That could be a play for him because he's been copping big time abuse, and obviously it's going to affect you no matter how strong of will you
Of
are.
course.
So yeah, it could be a front three of Rashford and Sancho and Ronaldo. Yeah, well, even of that front three, we should be winning. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
So
Do you know what I'd love to see more than anything, man? I'd love to see. Let's say we go to Burnley and Ronaldo just shows up. Scores a hat trick or something. Like you know what I mean? Like he just shows up, but the actual team gives him some chances, and he just, silent like these. I can't believe this shocks me that this guy actually has critics. Like
mm.
him and Messi. Like who are you criticizing these two blokes? Like seriously. But
Under the Fergie era, like every time we lost a game, you
I
knew the
will
next time we come out,
smash
we're
them.
gonna belt them.
That's
You know
right.
what
It was
I
like,
mean? No matter who it
or it
was.
was going to be something was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know what? I was
you knew.
watching sorry, I cut you off then. I was watching the Rio Ferdinand podcast, and he was talking about that. He was saying about Wayne Rooney. He goes, man.
Mm.
He goes, I used that training. He goes, if I yelled at him, he goes, he'd turn around with froth coming out of his mouth, and this is at training. He goes, imagine him on game day. Are we lacking a bit of that now? Is that where we
Mm.
are? Like,
I
are
think
we soft? We're so soft.
the closest player I've seen to do this since Rooney is Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno and
You know,
Ronaldo are the only two that really remonstrate.
yeah, so I've seen Bruno run to the ref and really, do his form of
Whatever.
protesting
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yelling stuff like that. But a lot of the players I've seen United don't really back him up. Even our so-called captain Maguire,
He's
he's not really like that.
yeah,
And
he's
yeah, Bruno's a leader,
definitely,
but we're still lacking a lot of leadership in United because a lot of them are soft. We've got soft characters, you know what I mean?
definitely.
So
You know what cracks me up, like you
Rashford's got
said.
skill, but he seems like he's got a soft character.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like you said, Bruno's a leader, right? Like I've, I'm a captain at my team, and there's different forms of captains. Like you can be a captain that you know is vocal, is like this, is very vocal, rah rah. Like Bruno is like that, but you can be a captain that leads by example. You don't need to talk much, but you lead by example, mate. But the thing is, Maguire does neither.
Mm.
He is neither. So why is he wearing the fucking armband?
I have no idea. And it's going to be interesting to see if the next manager, if they rate Harry Maguire, you know what I mean? So even as captain, so
Yeah.
um,
Oh, Reborn is back, man. He says hello. This is the first time Reborn's been in for a while. I think he said he was going to be away for a bit because he was moving. Sorry if that's wrong, Reborn, but how you doing, man?
good on you, Reborn. Hope you're
He's
well.
back, man. His team won in the morning. I actually watched the Liverpool game. And see, you're talking about signings like so, like they signed that Diaz, and I watched him last night. he was not this £100 million player, but you can tell he's going to do the job for Klopp. He's going to do the job. You know, this
Mm.
good young forward that he's going to turn into a world-class player.
Mm.
It's just, like we're so far from that.
And Liverpool operating in, who Klopp wants in and Klopp wants out. You know what I mean? So that's how a club should
That's
be
right.
run. If you're going to really back a manager, that's how it
That's
should
right.
be. Not like we'll get you your second or third pick,
Yeah, of
or we'll
course.
give you this
Of
bloke.
course. Well,
So
like I said, I
that
always bring it back to that Jose thing. Like he wanted players gone, and the board said, "No, we're not selling them. You're dead man walk. You're dead man
mm,
walking." And the thing is, they do that to every manager.
mm.
Like,
So I know Liverpool fans have never been too fancy on their owners either, but at least they signed Klopp and they've given Klopp as much backing as they possibly could. So that's why they've been successful.
yeah. They have. It's true. That's there. Reborn says, "Hey boys, had some health stuff going on, lads. Had to step away for a bit. How are you?" Reborn, we wish you all the best, mate, with any of your health problems. Great to see you back, and
Yeah.
hopefully everything's fine. Hopefully healthy and back.
Health is wealth,
Exactly,
man.
mate. Health is wealth. So, and Man United is very unhealthy. We're like the fifth strain of the C word. Like something going wrong at United. I don't know what it is, but we're
Jeez.
bad, man. Like it's even the other night, like we were playing well, right? And it was 1-0, and then I was thinking, what? If we don't score, I was thinking, something's gonna happen and we're gonna lose. Like remember growing
Yeah.
up, we never used to think like that. Even when we were losing, if we were,
Mm,
I remember the Manchester derby, we were 5-1 down, and we were thinking we'll come back. That's how we used to think. Like we
mm.
never thought we will ever beat, and now it's like,
You go down 1-0, we
yeah,
think we're
we're done.
stuffed.
Like it's so bad. It's so bad.
Mm.
It's so well, we've touched on what we think's going to happen with the games. We've touched on the transfer window. Before we'll go into the last segment of it. We'll touch on, I think a few people mentioned it before. Right now, with whoever's going around, who do you think gets this job, and are they capable of doing this job?
I think it's going to be Maurizio Pochettino just because it's just a shiny thing for the club to sell papers in the media. Is he the right man for the job? I wouldn't say he's not, and I wouldn't say he is. It's just, I think, look, he did well at Southampton and he did well at Tottenham. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
Is he a winning manager, win trophy wise? No, because he hasn't won anything. So, but look, PSG are a big club and they gave him a
Yeah.
chance, obviously. So,
Well, I mean, last night they spanked they
I'll,
spanked the defending champions 5-1 away, PSG. So
yeah. So, look, I won't be too upset with Pochettino, and I do think it will be Mauricio Pochettino. He wants to come back to
yeah,
England, and he's always wanted a United job,
yeah.
apparently.
See, that's the thing I'm fearful of. That's what I'm
Um,
fearful of. What you've just said, that he really
yeah,
wants it.
yeah. So, and that's the perfect thing for the board. Like they can manipulate. Okay, this guy wants to really come, and he'll listen to what we want done. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So he'll play it our way and get the players we want to get in, and he has to work with what he's
yeah,
got. Like any other manager that's come into Man United that's failed
yeah,
before. So, look, God bless him. Good luck. To any of the managers that come in. We need Ferguson and Gill back in the
yeah.
club, man. That's all I
Yeah,
can
I
say.
know, I know. Well, Trishima says now Lingard doesn't make the team, even though the coach wanted him in. I don't actually think the coach wanted him, Trishima. I think John touched on it before. Ranić said he can go. The board overruled him and kept him in, which is a joke. And then Reborn says probably already spoke about it. What do you think of Poch and Ronaldo trading places? The rumor mill is going. Well, John just touched on the Poch stuff a bit there, but Ronaldo go the other way? Ronaldo, Messi in the same team?
Jeez, like I tell you what, I've never thought of the day those two will be in the same team, but hey, it might happen. And look,
Well, they reckon
I love
Mbappe's gone,
Ronaldo,
don't
and
they? They reckon he's gone.
yeah, I mean, look, I love Ronaldo, but I feel like for United to go forward now, we need to look beyond
Yeah.
Ronaldo, and we need to find another. We need a striker in there regardless, because obviously Martial is on the outs and Cavani's leaving. Greenwood, is a big question mark. We don't know what's happening with him, and that only leaves Ronaldo, who's turning 38 now, and Rashford, who's not you're really your orthodox striker. I don't know how you want to
Yeah.
call it. He's more of an inside forward, whatever.
He
You know what I
likes
mean?
to
And
run at
Sancho's not
players.
a
Yeah.
striker, so yeah. So we need to buy a striker regardless. Um, yeah. So Pochettino swap for Mauricio Pochettino
It'd be alright. Yeah, it
could
could
happen.
happen. I'll tell you what.
Could
It
happen.
could happen. Listen, it's like you said. We're definitely going to need a striker if Ronaldo goes, and if Ronaldo stays, he's got what, one more year anyway. It's not, like the future is not with him. It's so Cavani's going. Like you said, Rashford, he wants to run at people. He's not a striker. It's funny. Like you think the club were putting all their eggs in the basket of Greenwood becoming their number one striker in the future, but that's just all been probably thrown into the bin. That's at this stage probably not going to happen.
Touching on Greenwood, has he been charged yet? Because I knew he's been put on bail, but I've heard without
Yeah, I'm
charges.
not sure. Listen, I don't know. Like I always say, it's is you're innocent till proven guilty. All that stuff is true. Like, but I said it last week. Like, listen, if he actually did what the accusations were, I hope they throw the book at him because it's a
He would have to leave Man United. He'll be
like, I
gone.
hope they throw the book at him if he is guilty. But if he's not, I hope he can get his life and his career back on track. But it's not going to be easy, even now. Even if he gets given innocent now, it's still not going to be easy for him. But you know, we'll see where that goes. I guess it's
Nah, he'll get taunted. He'll get
of
abused,
course
and yeah.
it's going to show where his character is if he does come back and play. But at this stage, I don't think he plays again this year. In
The only way out of it, if the female in question comes out and retracts everything and apologizes, that's the only way he gets out
exactly,
of this. You know what I mean? But I can't, I think he's done some wrong things
yeah,
here, because I heard that
I agree. I
audio,
think he's done
and
something wrong. And like I said, I'm not.
I think the poor lad's in trouble, and that's why we've got to look beyond Greenwood, we've got to look beyond Ronaldo, we've got to look beyond Cavani, we've got to look beyond Martial, unfortunately. And
Yeah,
we've gone from having too
we're
many
not gonna have any.
strikers to almost like having none.
Oh shit! But
That's just the merry-go-round of Man
that's it. We're a
United.
shambles. That's us. We are a shambles. So
Yeah, shambles, man.
you can't put it really any other way. But it's just that's just us. Like we are a shambles. But all right. So we pretty much touched on everything. We've hasn't been a good. We went into an international break. We came out of the international break getting kicked out of the FA Cup at Old Trafford. So the question is, we'll put it out there, and we'll keep touching on it weekly like we do. But are we going to make the top four, in your opinion? We'll leave it on that.
No,
Yeah,
no, I don't think we are. And I don't think for good reason too. And I think, well, I think it's actually better for us as a club not to be in the top four, because if we're in the top four, it gives us an opportunity for our board
De-
to go and
yeah,
buy
like Declan
the
Rice or
next
something.
shiny thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To go buy Harry Kane, or just a merchant for money, and they don't. I think us finishing outside the top four, obviously Europa sucks, but it'll force him to buy that player that the shiny toy that only wants to play
yeah,
Champions League. But
yeah,
if you know what I'm
definitely.
saying, you know what I mean. They get that hungry player instead of the player that's done it already. You know what I mean? So. And I honestly think we don't even deserve top four the way we're playing. And I believe, yeah, Tottenham's got a big shout, and Conte's a great manager, and he could easily
Yeah,
take that
I
fourth
actually
position.
I agree. I actually I think I'm with you. I think Tottenham will probably take it. Yeah.
Because what's the point? Like, what's the point? Get top four to what? To be crap in
I
the
know.
Champions League again next year? Like, it's just stupid. Like, we've got to get top four to be in the Champions League, and I feel like saying, well, what for? So we can be crap in the Champions League? Is that,
Exactly.
or
That's
just to make
exactly
money
the
for
thing I was going to
the
say then. You
Glaziers?
know
You
what
know
it
what
is?
I
It's
mean?
like we are making top four. The reason all we make top four now is to give those disgraceful owners money because they get more money if we make top four. So you know what? How about we start failing as a club? How about we become a mid-table club so Man United's not worth as much anymore? You know, maybe that. I never want to see United lose, and I know you don't. But you know what? That's actually probably the best thing for us as a club because then they'll think, you know what? We're not making as much money now. We've got a jet.
Mm.
But unfortunately, Man United is so global, the money's always going to be there. Like regardless of where we finish on the table now, United is so global, they're always going to make money, and that's the problem. But I think our fan base who go to the games and that actually need to do more to be trying to get these guys out of our club. Like we there's only so much we can do from afar. We say it we're in Australia and that, but these game going fans, they should be doing more. In my humble opinion, they should be doing more to get these guys out of our club.
They need to start doing maybe walkouts at a certain
Yeah.
time,
Yes.
fan walkouts. But it's not easy as well. To orchestrate such a big crowd, and plus that crowd that comes into Old Trafford, not all of them are members in regards
No,
like
yeah,
say
oh, okay, I know. Yeah, I know, I
you
get it, I
remember
get it.
when yeah you remember me and you went over there like as tourists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, I get it. They reckon
But
80,
that's
80% of the people are tourists. That's the problem.
yeah, these people come from all around the world to see United. They're not going to just leave the ground. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
No,
So,
I get it. I listen, I do get it. I know,
yeah,
I say it how I say it, but I completely understand
yeah.
it's not feasible.
Like you said, Man United is always going to, like you said, Man United is always going to make money. They're too global,
That's right.
so
That's the problem.
that's
So,
unfortunately being the biggest club like that is really bringing us down as well.
definitely. Absolutely. Most definitely. Oh, well, we've pretty much touched on everything, man. So, before we go, anyone that's still watching at this stage, me and Johnny are probably going to do a watch along on Saturday night. At this
Mm-mm.
stage, that's going
Who
to
we got Southampton?
Southampton, which is going to
Southampton?
be 11 p.m. our time here, whatever time that is. I don't know. Reborn, you're in England, whatever time that is over there. Might be lunchtime, I think, in England for an early game like
It
that.
should
Yeah,
be pretty
I
early.
think it's pretty early for them. So, yeah, at this stage, that's going ahead. Even if it's both, we both don't do it, I'll try get it that we still do a watch along for that. But so we've got Burnley coming up, and then Southampton. The big man Johnny has said 2 wins, so we're going to hold him to that on the next show. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Johnny, you can say what you need to say to them.
Yeah, it's good to be back after a month, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a watch along. And look, glory, Man United. We'll always be Man United, even through if you can't support them while we're shit, don't support us while we're good.
Very true,
So
man. Before we go touching on that, my old man said that to me. He goes, you know what? He goes, when I started supporting Man United, he goes, that's shit. He goes, and I've been supporting them since the 50s. He goes, so,
that's
like,
it.
there you go.
That's it.
Reborn's having a shot at you, man. He says 2 wins.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not confident. Not confident.
He says
So
maybe. Reborn's saying maybe. Hey, Reborn, Johnny, sometimes
on
sometimes
paper,
he tips with his head, sometimes he tips with his heart, but I'm gonna go with
on
Johnny. I'm
paper
going
we
with
should.
Johnny. 2 wins. I'm saying 2 wins.
On paper we should.
I'm backing Johnny on this one. 2 wins. 2 wins. I'm in it. I reckon Ronaldo is gonna show up and we're gonna smack him. But yeah, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, me and Johnny will see you on the watch along on the weekend, and I think me and the big man will see you on the normal podcast tomorrow, I think. So thanks for watching. See you later.
Peace.